Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers.
Hi, this is Brandon Buchinski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Here is another Power Play Post Show interview exclusive with Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. Very excited to have this gentleman on. I know it's very ironic times with the departure of Connor McAnanama from the team, but I'm very excited to have Dominik Tmej on the show here with us. He is obviously their goaltender for the Binghamton Black Bears. Dominik, welcome to the show. Great to have you on. I know it's probably been a strange 24 hours as you and Connor probably became kind of close over these last few months, but thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's, I love talking, and I hope, wherever Connor ends up, I hope he's, he can just prove everyone what they've been missing, and then he does really well. We've become really close, and he's helped me a lot, and I hope people could also see on the ice how much I've improved ever since he's started helping me.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's been kind of nice to see the two of you guys, and even Wyatt. When we've seen Wyatt in there, it's like the Black Bears really were blessed to have three really outstanding goaltenders this season. And, good decision for Connor to be able to do what he wants to do, and that'll help his career. But it also kind of puts you into a new position where you're not just sharing the duties with Connor. You might be taking on a little bit more of the playing time. And how exciting is that for you?
Yeah, I try not to think about, I just want to do my best when my number gets called.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm just, whenever I'm going to be put in the net, I want to do the best I can for the boys in front of me, as they always do for me. So, but yeah, I mean, as a goalie, you always want to play all the games. You want to play as much as you can. And, like I said, I just want to be ready when my number gets called. So I'll just continue to be ready for that.
Now, I know you grew up a little bit in Florida and played some youth hockey in Florida, but you were actually from the Czech Republic. Can you talk a little bit about hockey over in the Czech Republic, even youth hockey? When did it start for you? How quickly were you on the ice? And is this like a family business? I think you do have a brother that also played hockey as well here in the States. Yeah. So born and raised in Czech Republic. I was born in Prague, and I started skating at like 2, very early on. My dad played, so, always watching him and going to watch his games. We're always like the biggest fans in the stands, and that kind of, made us both interested with my brother David. Yeah.
And then, it came time where we got opportunities to come to the States and play overseas. My brother started in Detroit, and he was there for a year alone. And, I always had like this competition with my brother, and like I wanted to go too. And, having the amazing parents that we have, they allowed us to move and pursue our hockey careers, leaving behind their business and everything, which is not something a lot of parents would do. Like, even when I try to think about it, like, I'm not sure if I would do it, which might sound bad, but like, it was a big step for them, but they allowed us to do it. And we decided to move to Florida and started playing there. And then it kind of just took me a whole bunch of different directions, kind of all over North America. But yeah, it's been a ride that I'm truly blessed for.
Now, how old were you when you did come over from the Czech Republic over, and you guys, went to Bradenton, Florida?
I was 12, 13, somewhere around there.
And you had already made the decision. You told me a little bit after or before we started recording that it was about 10 years old that you decided to not play soccer or football over there and play hockey as full-time, more full-time than and whatnot. Was that an easy or a tough decision? Because I would imagine that a 10-year-old loved to play both, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my dad also played both, so I was kind of wanted to follow my dad's footsteps. So I played both, and not to pump my own tires, but I think I was a pretty good little soccer player.
Nice.
But yeah, when it came time to kind of decide, and when it was going to become harder to do both at the same time, my parents never put pressure on me to pick either or any. They would be happy with me doing anything, but I always wanted to play hockey, and so it was a pretty easy decision to decide.
And let's be honest, soccer is a lot of running in there, right? Hockey, you still have to skate hard if you're a forward or a defenseman. With a goaltender, it's a totally different element. Did your body change a little bit because you were going from probably running a ton throughout a calendar year to then just being a goalie? And I'm not saying you guys aren't athletes. I'm not saying that it's not tough to be a goalie, because it is. You're working muscles differently. Did your body kind of change a little bit from going from doing all that running that you would do during soccer practice or during soccer games to just working on what it takes to be a good goalie? If that makes sense.
I don't think it necessarily changed that much. Obviously, when you're that young, you're just usually skinny with 0% body fat anyways.
True.
But yeah, I mean, obviously there was a big cardio aspect where when we did both, you kind of never got tired on the ice. But yeah, I don't think my body would change a lot just because we were so young.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about hockey in Florida. I mean, because obviously you could compare it between hockey in the Czech Republic to then coming down. Obviously, you're near Tampa, and the Lightning are doing well. That obviously it's exciting down there. But what were the differences between youth hockey specifically in Tampa or in Florida versus what it was like in the Czech Republic?
I think it was a lot of, from what I can remember thinking back, obviously times also changed. So I want people to take this with a grain of salt a little bit. But the biggest difference was kind of the personal side of things, where in Europe it's a lot of team practices, where in the States or even in Canada it's there's a lot of focus on personal development as well. And that could also be we were young, so there wasn't really a personal stuff to work on. But now you see everyone has personal power skating coaches and stick handling coaches, shooting coaches. So it's a more detail oriented. But I think it's translating even in Europe now. I mean, you see top players in the world are also from Europe, and it's not just U.S. and Canada anymore. So yeah, I mean, the differences are there's not a lot of hitting in Europe compared to the U.S. or Canada, even in the junior ranks. So it's a different hockey, but I think it ultimately, I mean, you look at World Juniors, I mean,
oh yeah,
Sweden won this year, sadly, for the Czechs, but you see a lot of these European countries being able to compete with America and Canada, even though they're playing a different style of hockey. So it just all comes down to teamwork, I think, and how well you can actually put the puck in the net and keep it out of yours.
I know I talked to Kyle Steffen a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about his disappointment with World Juniors. How many guys do you think on the team were paying attention to World Juniors this year?
I think a decent amount. I know when Czech played Canada, I try to throw some chirps in the chat, but I got a couple of thumbs down emojis on those. But the better team won. What can we say?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you obviously watch. It's kind of crazy now. I know I'm not old or anything, but all these guys are now younger than me, and it's kind of weird watching it that like I couldn't even play in that if I wanted to. But yeah, like just how good some of these players are, and it's amazing to watch. And it's always fun to see how many of these guys are then going to make it, and you can say that you've watched them back in the day.
Now, you were obviously playing in Florida as a kid, but then there's this call that obviously leads you to Major Junior Hockey and playing in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Can you talk a little bit about that transformation, going from playing in the States here, and then you go up to that part of Canada to start playing Major Junior Hockey?
Yeah, it was a step I don't think I even ever saw coming. I kind of got like scouted at like a high school playoff game, and it was kind of like, hey, come to our development camp, and it was for the Moncton Wildcats.
Yeah.
So, we went, and the first practice, I remember working with the goalie coach, Scotty Monroe, and he was kind of just asked me like, why are you here? And I was like, well, I'm here to make the team.
Right.
And and he was like, okay, like, whoa, because they already had 2 guys signed, but he loved my confidence and what I did on the ice. So then I got invited to the rookie camp, made it all the way to the main camp, but again, they already had 2 goalies signed, so I got sent down to Springfield Picks in the USPHL.
Mm-hmm.
And then after like a month and a half or something like that, they decided to move away from their starter, and they called me. And yeah, I got to go up there. I had a pretty good first game, and then obviously the team decided to rebuild, so that became a tough year after that. But yeah, it was a great competition. I got to learn a lot about myself and got to compare myself with guys that are, some of them are captains in the NHL now, so it's for sure been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great league to play in. Now, it's probably not the most famous of the 3 major junior leagues, but there's a gentleman named Mike Hoffman who came to Binghamton to play for the Binghamton Senators. I gave him his first professional interview up in the press box, which was kind of great. And I think you are literally the second guy from the Q that I've interviewed. I'd have to go back, but I'm pretty sure, because I usually look at all the stats and where players come from. But I think you're the second guy in my career who played in the Q. And, again, it's up in the Maritimes and, the eastern part of Canada. But there's so much competitive hockey and hockey players that are playing in the Q. Are you, when you look back at it, do you go like, wow, I played up in the Q, I played in, major junior hockey, and that's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, I think, it's like one of the claims to fame for me, probably. But, I think looking back at the whole time there, I think I would have done some things differently. I don't think, I kind of thought I had it made and I didn't have to work hard when I got there. But yeah, just even like looking around the NHL now and seeing like, I played against Nico Hischier.
Yep.
My first game was against Pierre-Luc Dubois. I played against Alex Lafreniere. So it's like all these guys you get to play against that are like household names in the NHL now. And it's just been cool to like, even games where I wasn't playing, you're kind of looking around like, wow, like, I played in Quebec a little bit, and we had like 9,000 people come for a Wednesday game, and it was an amazing time, and yeah, it was great.
So basically, a sellout in Binghamton is just old hat for you, because you've seen those type of crowds before. Not every guy on the Black Bears, when they played junior hockey or when they played in college, have come to Binghamton, and a lot of them didn't get to play in front of crowds like that. You have. So there's a comfortability there for you, right? A large crowd chanting your name or cheering for the team doesn't get into your head at all because you're used to it.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I try not to overthink big crowds. At the end of the game, it's just a hockey game we're playing. But yeah, it's always so much fun when a lot of people come to support you, even away games.
Sure.
You know, at home you get to excite people, and away you get to disappoint people, and they both bring some extra into your game.
Now you went from obviously playing in the Q, and you started playing in junior A hockey with the Summerside. Can you talk a little bit about that decision? It seems like to me, if I just looking at the stats, superficially, looking at the stats, looks like it was a very good decision for you to make that change.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was necessarily my my choice.
Okay.
I kind of got sent down because I was in Bathurst, and they decided to bring another goalie, and I was kind of the odd man out. So I went down, and yeah, it was just a humbling experience. And like I mentioned before, when looking back, I wish I would have changed some things in how I not only just carried myself, but how much I cared about getting better. That was one of the, getting sent down kind of woke up something inside of me. I was like, okay, I'm not as good as I think I am. I gotta, if I want to still make it somewhere, I gotta step it up here. And yeah, I came to Summerside, and it was a great situation for me. I kind of, got to come in and get to play a lot of games. The team was very good, and made some unforgettable memories and some friends for life that I actually later got to play with in college too. So, yeah, for sure, it sucked getting sent down, but I'm really glad that I did.
But you made the best of it, and I'm going to guess you learned some things about yourself, like you said. But that 2018, 2019 team seemed to just really be really good, and you guys went deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, but all the years they were there were kind of made it to the semifinals. Mm-hmm. And then the last year where we were so good, but the day before the first playoff game, we kind of got shut down for COVID, and that was it. So we didn't really get to even push for the championships that we all wanted. Mm-hmm.
How disappointing is that, though? I mean, is that something you look back at and you're like, man, I really wish we just had that chance, that ability to go for that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was disappointing, but it's kind of a, what if, if I would have saved a couple more pucks, I could have, also be in the NHL. So it's always tougher to look back at things. Mm-hmm. But it's just something that happened. I think if anything, it made us all closer, having to experience it all together over there. And yeah, I mean, it sucked, but everyone kind of lived through it. And I'm sure we weren't the only team who got their chances, that didn't even get a chance to win a championship. So we weren't the only ones, and yeah, we all kind of moved on from it. And then we got to, with some of the guys, we got to push for more championships elsewhere.
Now, Dom, obviously fans here in Binghamton have seen you after games go to the center part of the ice, kneel down. Obviously, you're very strong with your faith, and I think that probably led you to Briarcrest College, which I believe is a Christian college, if I remember reading correctly. Was the decision easy to go to college and go to that particular college? Was there a couple different colleges in mind for you, or did they recruit you? How did it come about that you went there?
I actually wasn't a Christian at all until I got to college.
Really?
In my like second or third year. Yeah, I
Okay.
never grew up with faith. But again, looking for a college or university to go to during COVID wasn't the easiest thing.
No.
So yeah, I had a couple of schools like U Sports, which is like the high university level in Canada, but they then decided to make their positions a tryout, and I was like, well, I don't want to like go there and then possibly not make it, and then I'm like committed to the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then Briarcrest kind of, they were like, hey, we need a goalie. And I just told them, I'm coming. I just want to play hockey, and I'll figure out the school on top of it. And then, yeah, it led me to discovering, and giving my life away to Jesus. And that's probably been the best decision of my life.
And that happened while you were in school. See, I talk about this all the time with players and with people, that sometimes there are certain parts of your life that happen for a reason. And I don't want to say that maybe you were lost before going to Briarcrest, but do you think that you found your way when you got there because you did kind of, find your faith?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You're always kind of looking for something in your life, I feel like. And ever since, I got there, my life kind of felt different, and I didn't necessarily know what it was until like my second or third year, where I decided to, pick up faith, but be more faithful, and then eventually giving my life away to Jesus. And then my life changed since then tremendously. Like I have no bad days now. I feel like, I always feel so much love from my Heavenly Father. And, I get to win or lose. I always know that I'm loved no matter what. So it's for sure changed my life, and it made my life so much better.
And you're probably, I know this is like a general statement, but you're just a happier person now too, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's, no bad days, and I feel like nothing like bothers me anymore, because I can always, like, if something bothers me, I get to just, pray about it and kind of give it to God, and know that He'll take care of it for me, and I don't have to worry about a thing.
Which is great, because not enough people probably have that in their lives. And I think more and more people, I think this world would be a better place if a lot more people just had that in their lives, no matter what it is and who it's with. But just having it would make people a lot happier in this world. We kind of joked a little bit off air about how you've been a little bit everywhere, right? Grew up in Europe, then Florida, then, the eastern part of Canada, the midwestern part of Canada, and now here in upstate New York. Do you think I don't want to say world traveler, but do you think that you've learned a lot about the world because you have spent a considerable amount of time in different places? And do you think that's kind of helped you become part of the person that you are today as well?
Yeah, I'd say so, maybe a little bit. Like, kind of everywhere you go, you meet different people, and, you meet people that, are really nice, and you can meet people that are not so very nice, and you get the kind of craft of, like who you want to be, especially when I was moving these places, I was still like growing up. So I really got to shape who I am based on what I saw around me. And yeah, I've had some amazing role models around me for most of my life. Starting with my parents, and then all the coaches that I've had, they've, most of them really transformed not just me as a hockey player, but me as a person. And then, obviously God's transformed me even further. But yeah, everywhere you go, you get to learn from something or someone. So I would encourage all the people to, everywhere they go, to learn and try to make themselves into the best possible person that they can be.
Now, you talked a little bit earlier about Ivan Bondarenko, and you listened to the podcast and kind of heard his story. And he came over here by himself, right? And his family stayed in Russia. Did you guys bond a little bit? Because you guys have similar stories in that sense, but your parents did come over. But, in some cases for their children, for you and David to be able to play hockey maybe at a higher level than maybe over in the Czech Republic. I don't know that situation completely, but again, there is a similarity there between you and Ivan. He's a little bit older, but you guys kind of do share that little bit of, same type of story almost.
Yeah, I mean, the Euros stick together.
Yeah.
But no, I think, anyone can bond with Bondo because he's just such a down-to-earth guy and such an amazing person. And, yeah, I think compared to his journey, I think mine was so much easier because I had my parents to always lean on. They were always with me.
Yeah.
And he did it all by himself. And huge props to him for doing that. And yeah, he's one of the greatest humans being I've ever met.
I totally believe that. Now, you told me that you almost didn't know if hockey was going to continue for you after Briarcrest College, that you were looking at possible teams in Europe. You get a call, a tryout with the Norfolk Admirals in ECHL, and you didn't know if anything was going to stick before you got a text from Brant Sherwood. Can you tell the fans a little bit of that story?
Yeah, so after college, I kind of had a little intel or opportunity that I could play for a team in Europe in the Czech league, in the Czech second biggest league. And so I went over there, kind of pretty much moved my life, kind of, I don't want to say expecting, but very highly hoping that I was going to make it. And I was there since June, some rigorous training and got all the way to I think it was towards end of September, and nothing was kind of moving along. Their season started and I still didn't hear anything. So I was kind of in a bad spot. And I remember one night kind of just praying, God, can you just show me the path you want for me? Whatever it is, I just want kind of a sign so I know that my life's moving somewhere. And the same night at 3 a.m, I got a text from my agent that I have a possibility of a PTO in Norfolk. And so I decided, again, I'm going. And again, I still, being in Czech, I was thinking about just quitting hockey because I wasn't having fun. I was, I felt like, if it's not going to go anywhere, I might as well just get a job and, try to settle down and make something of myself. And this kind of gave me an opportunity, and I went into it knowing that I'm only there until one of their guys from the AHL gets sent down. But at that point, I was kind of if this is it, it'll be a great story. I can still say that I did it. And so I went over there. I had a pretty good camp, I think. And the coaches, from what they said, they liked me, but their hands were kind of tied no matter what. So I left one day at 2 p.m. and by 4:30 on my drive home to Florida, I get a text from Brant Sherwood and, about Binghamton Black Bears and FPHL and how would I feel about the opportunity coming in. And then we had a quick phone call and
wait, you say a quick phone call. No phone call with Brant Sherwood that I've ever heard with a player has ever been quick. But it was definitely a short one with Brant.
Short one, sort of, yeah. We both talked a lot, but it felt short. Just listening to how great of an organization this is. And like, I say short probably mostly because within the first 2 minutes, my mind was kind of made up.
Yeah.
Just from the way Bram was talking about, everybody on the team and the management, the owner, like the arena, everything that, we're blessed with in the locker room now. So it was kind of a easy decision, and one that, I will never probably regret for the rest of my life. And I'm so happy to be part of all this and to have met all these guys on the team.
Now, you also told me a little bit of a funny story, and I'm not surprised by this because Les Sirota is friends with everybody in the hockey world. But you didn't know initially because that you would be joining a team with Zach Sirota, whose father is Les, and you are friends with Les Sirota, who was a goalie. In his playing days, he was a goalie, and I think he looks for and seeks out all the goalies that are playing in the world and becomes friends with them on Facebook. But you were seeing stuff about the Black Bears last year's championship because Les was obviously, reposting things and whatnot. So you kind of had a little bit of like this is the Binghamton Black Bears that I keep seeing on my Facebook feed, and I don't know why. Yeah.
Like it looking back, it was like I don't want to call it the weirdest thing, but like I remember over the summer being on Facebook and seeing this video like shared like 5 times. And it was Zach Sirota scoring. I think it was the championship clinching goal, if I'm correct.
He scored it. Yep.
Yeah. And then, you see all the fans, and I was like, what is this? Like, where is this? And like, I'm pretty sure I looked it up and everything, and never knowing that is where I was going to end up. But it's such a, like, I just think it's a funny story that, I've had Zach's dad on my Facebook for however long now. I don't even know. It could have been 20 years. But yeah, it's a funny story, but I guess you can also say that, God's been giving me the signs to come here all this time.
Absolutely. I totally believe that. Can you talk a little bit about coming into camp? What was it like at first to be here, and especially when you got to meet the goaltenders that were here as well?
Well, I didn't come for camp. I came after. You mean like in Binghamton, right?
Yeah, when you got to Binghamton here, because you weren't here for camp. I
came, I think, after the first 4 games.
Yep.
And I knew coming in, like, obviously, like every hockey player does, you look up everyone on the team, elite prospects.
Yeah.
Kind of what am I going into, and you see C-Mac, and you're kind of like, whoa, like this is a real guy. Like, you look at his stats and playoff MVP. He had seemed like he had a shutout every game in the playoffs, and I was like, all right, so the competition's gonna be pretty tough, and Wyatt was at the East Coast camp too.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was gonna be a challenge coming here, but if I like a good challenge, and I wanted to prove myself. So
talk a little bit about this team this year, what you've seen in front of you. Obviously you and C-Mac have played really, really well. But the team in front of you guys have played pretty well too. What do you see in front of you when it comes to the Binghamton Black Bears, the defense and the forwards?
Well, I think, being a goalie is just a reflection of how the team's doing. So if I'm doing well, that means, or if C-Mac's doing well, if his Wyatt's doing well, it's just a reflection of how well the team's doing, how we're doing defensively. And like the amount of talent on this team is truly amazing. And like, I'm just like so blessed every day, like going to practice, and you have, CJ Stubbs shooting at you, and he's leading the league in points. You have, Bondo's passing it to CJ. You have Tyson Kirkby like screening me, trying to tip pucks, and it's like I can only get better being here with these guys.
Right.
So it's truly been a blessing. And I truly believe that, all three of us, we could have been starters on any team in this league. I truly, truly believe that. I think, C-Mac's accolades speak for themselves, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably call him an FBHL legend at this point. I think Wyatt's a tremendous goalie. You get to see him in practice, and he's always working on his craft. We always ask each other questions, even with C-Mac. We're trying to bouncing ideas off each other. So, it's a great spot to be for me personally, and I think for anyone coming in, it would be an amazing spot. But I always think it's also, kind of being a goalie, knowing that your team can put up 9 goals every game. You get to go into every game being loose that, if I don't have my A game, if I bring my B game today, I know the boys are just going to have my back. And then I try to be the guy who, if maybe, we're off to a slow start, I want to be the reason why we're still in the game.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one game, right? Because you've won, I believe it is now 10, 11 in a row. But that one game, November 14th against the Athens Rock Lobsters, the only game you've given up 4 goals. It's the one loss. What can you take from that loss? What can you take from that performance? It's only 4 goals. It's not like you gave up a 6 spot or, anything like that. But talk a little bit about what you can learn from a loss like that helps you then propel another 11 wins.
Just that game was a huge learning experience for me. Giving up 4 goals falls below my standard. Mm-hmm. I think, if I want to help my team win a game, I can't allow 4 goals. But yeah, it was just after that game happened, and I also remember I was healthy scratch for the next game.
Yep.
There's a argument to be made. If we won that game, I probably could have been scratched too. You never know. Mm-hmm. But it kind of left a sour feeling in me, and I was like, all right, today's the day that things change, and I need to work on my craft more. I need to figure out ways how to be better, how to become a better skater, track the puck better. Today's the day where I'm figuring it out. Because I was mad. Not at anyone particularly, mostly at myself that I wasn't good enough. But I was like, it ends here. And now, I want to really improve my game and be on top of my game as much as I can. And yeah, at the same time, wins and losses also happen. The whole point of hockey is for me to get scored on for the other team. Mm-hmm. So my world wasn't coming to an end, but it was a good thing for me to happen early, I think.
Yeah.
Now I don't ever want to lose a game, but if it does happen, I know that only positives can come out of it.
Yeah, you can learn from it and then move on. My co-host Taylor has a slight request. You've now had 7 one-goal games. She'd like a shutout from you. That would be really nice. You've been so close? You've been so close now to getting that first shutout. Is it something you think about, or is it not matter as long as you guys win?
Obviously, I think it would be nice. I kind of joked with Bondo the other day that maybe now if he scores a goal, I finally get my shutout. That's kind of where we are at right now.
Well, we've joked about that too, about Bondo getting a goal again, because it's been almost a month and a half now since Bondo's had a goal, and he's doing phenomenal. He's got a 22-point 22 game point streak going, which is great. He's gotten a ton of assists, but we want to give him that goal too. So we want you to get the shutout and him to get the goal.
Yeah, and he's going to get it. I mean,
yeah.
Again, he's, he doesn't care if he scores. He just wants to win, and he's a competitor. Yeah. But, I kind of, shutouts are nice, and it's a nice accolade to have. But I think ultimately what matters is the win column. And, as much as, I don't want to give up any goals, if we win, 7-6, I don't care. Like, as long as, we won. Yeah. Obviously, like I said before, I'd hold myself to a high standard. We're getting scored on. But sometimes, you have bad games. But, even in 7-6 games, you can make that one save that wins you the game. So
absolutely.
I think winning is the most important thing for me, especially like looking around the locker room at the guys we have here. I want to win for them. I never want to win for myself. It's for all the guys around me because they deserve the best, and I always want to give them the best.
Before I let you go, I want to just kind of like make a statement, get your thoughts on this statement. 5 years ago, when the Black Bears came into fruition, the FPHL was known for this rough and tumble kind of league. And then today I'm talking with you. You played in Major Junior. Kyle Steffen, who I talked to last week, played D1 hockey. And you guys have a coach, John Quenville, who played 42 games in the NHL. It's a pretty impressive list of players to be players and or a coach that are now working together in single A hockey, and everybody's trying to improve themselves to kind of move up. What are your thoughts on number one, John Quenville, 42 games, and then you have someone like Kyle Steffen, who played D1 hockey as well, all on this team with you, and you played in Major Junior.
I mean, anytime you can have someone on the team with NHL experience, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 games in one game. At the end of the day, they played there, right? They know what it takes to get into the league, and to even like Coach Q played in high leagues in Europe, which are not easy to get into. Mm-hmm. So he has a good hockey brain. He he usually lights me up in practice too.
Does he?
Yeah, like the thing is, like, I feel like when I sometimes like save him, then he gets mad and he really wants to score, and then but no, like he's been great addition for our team. I think obviously I wasn't here years prior, but just seeing him with his inputs, and I think Coach Sherwood's right up there too. He played in the Coast. He's got some games under his belt, but he's a great hockey mind. Kyle, again, like he knows how to score. He can throw big hits. He can kind of do it all. But you also have guys, like Janny or CJ Stubbs. Like, these guys are champions, right? Yeah. Like, they know what it takes to win. I mean, most of this locker rooms are champions. So they know what it takes to win. So I think, like, having a group like this is, for me personally, it's been really big, just knowing, what it takes to win a championship. But just having them as leaders, just truly, it's just amazing. I can't even put it into words, because you kind of would have, like, you have to be there to see it. But yeah, it's just making everyone so much better, with our coaching staff and the talent that we have on this team. And, even Aiden, our equipment managers, everything's working so well where you just get to focus on hockey, and it just, brings everyone compete, level up. It's all trickles down from up top all the way down. And yeah, I can't say enough about this organization. I could go on and on.
Yeah, no, I can tell. Last question. I asked this after January 1st to all the guys that come on the show. what is the goal for you guys this season?
Win a championship.
That's it.
There isn't anything else.
There isn't anything else. That's the right answer. It's the right answer. Dominik, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. Good luck this upcoming weekend. I know you guys got 2 games against the Watertown Wolves. Not that you guys have ever seen the Watertown Wolves this season. It's been too many times, if you ask me, but that's just me. But good luck this weekend against the Wolves. I'm sure we'll probably see you, if not in both games, but in at least one of them, and maybe Wyatt in another game as well. It'd be great to see Wyatt get back into a game because I know he's been sitting kind of watching and practicing with you guys, so it'll be great. But thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And God bless and go Black Bears.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Patitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.